So here Kapila Dev made his appearance, and the reason being is because of the suffering, and the suffering was being felt. This describes like a fire. Just recently there were big fires right in Los Angeles, and they're trying to put it out. It's the same scenario again and again. To overcome the effects of nature. And it's not that their efforts are not recognized, but generally speaking, they fall short. And unless there's divine intervention, either through rain, right, or the wind subsiding, and the fire rages. So similarly, in the fire of material existence, the samsara, the cycle of birth and death, is compared to a great fire. And there's no human capability to solve this problem. No amount of any kind of human effort can solve this problem. It is only by the intervention of the Supreme Authority through the medium of his representatives, the spiritual master, that one can overcome such difficulties and rise above the threefold miseries. And then there's relief. There's joy. You know, it's not all about material existence and suffering. We can actually be here and still be celebrating. Just like we were celebrating. I mean, look how beautiful the altar for Lord Jagannath this morning. It was so beautiful. You know, Krishna consciousness is a life of, is a festive environment. We see even devotees preaching all over the world. Sometimes they're in very, very hellish situations, and they are dancing around, you know, in the middle of in a war zone, dancing, happy. They're not necessarily oblivious to the suffering, but they take comfort in the solution, the final solution. The greatest liberation. You see, you know, you look through history. For example, when France was occupied by the Nazis, or some of you are very young, may not know all this, but you know, during the Second World War, the French were under occupation, and but then the Americans and Canadians, you know, they went and scaled the rocks in Normandy off the coast of France and pushed back the Germans and overtook, and then they liberated France. As a result, people were so grateful. They still celebrate every year. They still celebrate this. People were so grateful, and who they're liberated. Eisenhower, you know, great general, and he came and liberated them. And there are so many other instances in history. Of course, but unfortunately, it doesn't always turn out that way. There may be liberation in one area, but then unfortunately, it's not complete. In India, they had liberation from the English. They got their independence. But look what happened as a result of that. Then there was division, separation of the state, which caused great suffering. So, here this is speaking about liberation from this material existence, material consciousness. And the Lord appears. So now we may all be the people of different faiths in the world, may be praying, you know, praying for their liberator. Sometimes you hear, the second coming of Christ, but according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord has appeared. Now it's a question of inviting Him into our lives. The Lord has appeared in this day and age in the sound of His holy name. That is the incarnation in Kali Yuga, to liberate the people. So yes, the demigods were pleased with the suffering souls, not with their suffering, but they were pleased with the suffering souls because now they could all get relief by all turning their attention to their Supreme Liberator. Pretty much touching all the points I have to make about this. Again, our philosophy is not to emphasize the suffering in this world. Because if we simply emphasize that without a solution, then actually this is one of the comments that Srila Prabhupada makes in the Bhagavad Gita in the 4th chapter. I think it's verse 10, that there are 3 obstacles to take up to the practice of devotional service. And actually Krishna repeats these a few times throughout the Gita: fear, anger, and attachment. And if we simply emphasize the nature of this material world and its suffering, then we may want liberation. But what kind of liberation? Basically annihilation of the soul. We don't want to be a person anymore. So much suffering, life after life after life. So we developed this philosophy that if it's just suffering, why not be a person? And then these philosophies evolve from that. Or that I am God. And that's just the way things are. It's all one. Or else, by searching for answers in different doctrines and practices and theories and philosophies, when we don't come to the stage of a loving relationship, personal relationship with God through devotional service. If we don't come to that, then after searching throughout various types of teachings and philosophies, we become so frustrated that we become angry. That's another obstacle. Or else, attachments. Attachments could be just a life filled with so many distractions, even a perverted attachment to our discomforts, because that's all we know. This is the life that I know, and we're conditioned to accepting, well, it's just miserable, and we can't see that we're being offered something much greater. We try to solve, we go about being satisfied with the simple pleasures of life, so to speak. People will say, he's always a happy-go-lucky. So these become distractions. Attachment, fear, and anger. But when we can dovetail that fear, that anger, and attachment toward the service of Krishna. When we're upset, when we're angry, I don't know how to deal with my anger. We can turn this anger Krishna, Krishna's service. We can substitute our attachment, the consciousness behind them. Krishna says, rid yourself of all fruitive activities by engaging in devotional service and surrender to consciousness. So yeah, I'm attached to doing some particular type of thing, then we do it for Krishna. And fear is worry about the future. But a devotee's future is guaranteed. Let's go back to the spiritual world. So where is the fear? And if we're feeling, we acknowledge, I'm fearful, what do? It's like Brahma, we turn to Krishna. So I'll stop here. If there are any comments or questions on this topic, we'll be celebrating Ram Navami. Is that what Ram Navami? Appearance of the Ram, April 6th. Also, before I forget, there's a musical presentation this evening in the community hall. Krishna Lila. It will take place between 6 and 7. So I hope you can join us there. Any thoughts on this verse and purport? If not, I'm sorry?
The text that we were reading, is that available online for us to read at home?
Yes, these are available online. And of course we have a beautiful library of books that are available for guests if you'd like to purchase them. The Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a whole set's available. We have Bhagavad Gita. I grew up Catholic, and from what I remember, it wasn't encouraged to have a Bible in the house. And but if you were a Protestant, you know, people had Bibles in their homes. Of course, it wasn't enforced, but still, I do remember that it was. And the reason being was that one should hear from the priest. The priest is to, so you go to church and you hear the sermon. So that principle of hearing from authority, now I don't know the historical facts in regards to that, especially when it comes in terms of how it applies in India with the scriptures. But the important, Sri Prabhupada made these books available for everyone. Just like Lord Chaitanya and the Holy Name. There are some traditions, for example, they say we should not, because the name of God is so pure, we cannot approach the name of God. So therefore, to utter the name of God can be considered blasphemy. Right? As far as this organization, there is no prohibition to having the books at home. As a matter of fact, there's a great encouragement to have these books in your home. They are none different than the deity.
I just want to underline that we really encourage you to have these books at home, because as our speaker just said, you know, the Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Okay? So if you invite several Bhagavatam into your home, you have Krishna in your home. Okay? And we, of course, propose that you would read maybe one page, one sloka every day. Okay? But just to answer your question, it's all online, database.io, database.io. All the books of Srila Prabhupada, our founder, are online, and you can actually read online. We have, of course, nowadays, everybody has a different habits. I like to read books and not online, but if somebody has a habit to read online, they are online available. Okay? But we may see during class, we are looking at our phone because we look at the text on our phone directly, so that's a little bit.
We accept whatever is favorable to remember Krishna, and we reject anything that is unfavorable to remember Krishna. Yeah.
If I could just add one.
Yes?
Also, you make this great point that oftentimes the scriptures are not recommended to be read alone as we learn studying.
Yeah.
So in Paul's books, he provided us with commentaries.
Mm-hmm.
These commentaries fulfill that.
Yeah.
And he's drawn, in those commentaries, he's drawing from the Acharya and the disciples' expression, so it's very authoritative.
Mm-hmm. Hence the terms Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These are our pillars that support the authenticity of the information that we receive. So we can be supported by the spiritual master, it's supported by other spiritual masters and saintly persons, and it is also supported by the scripture. So if the message that is coming from these three is in harmony, then we can accept this. This is our protection. You follow? So yes, we want the books in our home, but that's not enough. In one sense, it's not enough. We want to take advantage of the association of those other individuals who are also studying these books, and those who have realized the knowledge coming through the scriptures. There's an urgency. We want that sense of urgency to be always there. On the one hand, we want to be patient, but on the other hand, we know that it's urgent. After all, in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, King Parikshit is asking one of the first questions. What is the duty of a person who's about to die? And who's about to die? Can we say? Any moment, anyone. You see? So, yes, in that sense, there's urgency. But on the other hand, we're also patient because we recognize that we are infinitesimal. We are very small. So we place our faith in Krishna and God, and then we trust that, yes, He will guide us. Man proposes, God disposes. Of course, man proposes, God disposes, but we need to look at what we're proposing. God has stated here in the beginning of this purport, the sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon them. Rather, the conditioned souls create their own sufferings. Man proposes. So each moment we can question, will this help me remember Krishna? Or will this make me forget Krishna? Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, there's previous lives are being considered. I mean, that's the only sensible explanation for the sufferings of so-called individuals. For example, they had 9/11, and you hear someone go, how can they kill such innocent? So, from one perspective, yes. I mean, after all, we're sensible. We want to have empathy for anyone who's undergoing suffering. But because we're being offered a vision by the mercy of the scriptures and Guru and Krishna, we're being offered a vision that is broader. We know that ultimately, no one is innocent in this world. You see? So yes, we are getting the reactions Actually, in one of the Srila Prabhupada's books, The Nectar of Devotion, he speaks about this in the very beginning. How they're like our sinful actions are like seeds. Some of them are fructifying, some of them are laying dormant, like that. So yes, go back from previous life. Otherwise, how do we explain someone who's born blind, someone who's born poor, someone who's born in a rich family? How do we explain all this? So karma explains it. And it's like a situation of good luck, bad luck, who knows? You ever hear that story? Yeah. So the man has a horse. You see? It's like the suffering of the conditioned souls. We're kind of pleased in one sense because we know that something's good's going to come out of that. So the guy's got a horse. And one morning he loses his horse, so the horse escapes. So his neighbor said, "Oh, Jim, bad luck, you lost your horse." And the man says, "Well, good luck, bad luck, who knows?" 3 days later, the horse came back with 3 other horses, wild horses. So now the man has 4 horses. He says, "Oh, Jim, good luck." He says, "Oh, good luck, bad luck, who knows?" And then his son goes and trains the wild horse, falls off the horse and breaks his leg. His neighbor, "Oh, bad luck." He says, "Oh, good luck, bad luck, who knows?" And in the army, they came to get his son to go to war. But they couldn't take him. He had a broken leg. He says, "Oh, you're lucky your son didn't have to go." He says, "Oh, good luck, bad luck, who knows?" So yeah, so it's, it's like that. In the world, it appears horrible, but we don't know what that will, the outcome of this particular situation. Exactly. Krishna said to Arjuna, rise above the duality, happiness and distress. Rise above the duality, be transcendental, be free from anxiety, and take shelter in the self. Yeah. All right? Thank you so much for coming. All glories to Sri Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, we would like to have breakfast. We serve in our prasadam hall. 9:30 we offer the praise to Lord Srinadev in front of Lord Srinadev's altar. 10 o'clock we meet in front of the temple room. We go on parikrama, we walk along the lake, stop on the hill where the Radha Kunshama Kund, Lord Shiva has protected the holy land. We sing the holy name and we will hear some love. And 11 o'clock we have a workshop at our kitchen garden office.